Hey everybody, welcome to our 2 o'clock live chat. I am Heather, and Renee and I come to you live each and every day. Monday through Thursday, we're here at 8, 10, 12, 2, and 4. And then on Fridays, we're here at 8 and 10. And so we do come to you live and talk Luminous and see what we have to offer, talk about the starter kit and how to airbrush, because we know that everybody's interested. And so we want to be there for you guys. And so let's go over our starter kit real quickly. This is one of our starter kits, and this is the Icon. We also have the Icon Pro, and it does come, and we also have the Legend, but it does come with makeup. And so you get 2 bottles of foundation plus Love and plus the blush. Now the blush does bloom, and the Love that we give you is I want to say it's a youthful glow product, because it's not necessarily a shimmer, but it does give you a luminosity to your skin, and it's amazing. But we give you the 2 bottles of foundation so you can practice. Think of this starter kit as your practice kit and really get in there. And so when you do start, we want you to do the following things. Or right here is, we want to get used to it, plug it in, get it out of the box, plug it in. When you turn it on, there's air that comes out. So what that tells you is wherever you feel this air, let me turn mine on. Wherever you feel this air is where the makeup's going to go. So you just moving this around your face, feeling that air, that's practicing. And so just get in there and feel it, move it around. Again, practicing, keeping it 4 finger widths away. And then you can put water in here and then start pulling back on the trigger. Because the other thing you're going to want to practice is barely pulling back on that trigger, because you want very little to come out. It is very little. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a full face of makeup with lashes. And so it really is so easy to do. It doesn't take any time to get used to it. I know a lot of people are like, oh, I don't know, I'll only do it for special occasions. Or no, you airbrush all the time. You're going to airbrush going to check your mail. It is amazing because it gives you whatever look you want that day. You can get with Luminous. Hello, Candy. Good to see you. All right, so I have my CC concealer in here, and I'm going to go in. I didn't take off a little bit of the eye that I had on, so I'm just going to put this underneath and start my, what I like to call pre-coverage. Now, I actually start the movement first, and then when I start feeling it, the coolness of the product being released, I'll start moving my hand, because there'll be overlap, but you're not going to go in one spot twice on those passes. You can go back and get more coverage by the passes, but that first initial pass, as soon as you feel it, start moving it down. And so I'm going to go in and get some coverage. All right. So that I just did underneath my eyes, between my eyes right here, and then a little bit above the brow. Ooh, itchy. And then now, let me get so again, just start, I call it pre-coverage because I just start the coverage. I know that I'm going to get more coverage with the other stuff that I'm going to put on, but this gets me going. All right. Oh no, is he just running around? All right, I am going to powder first. I'm going to powder on my cheeks and the areas I just sprayed. And what I find is this really does help with keeping you matte. And I know in the summers we get so hot, and I mean, if I think about heat, I'm going to start sweating. I'll do it. But I actually have started to love this look of getting it's more of a finished look, a polished look, and I like it. All right, so now I feel like I have a little fuzz on me. So I have started my pre-coverage, then I powdered, and then I can go in and add my foundation. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so now I'll go in. I'm going to put my drops of the Silk 4-in-1. And right there. Turning on my system, I now start in one area. Making a pass. I'll go over the concealer that I sprayed or I airbrushed on, but I don't have to go up as high underneath my eyes because I just need it to overlap. I got the coverage that I needed with the CC concealer, but I'm just having those products overlap a little bit, getting me more coverage. And now just focusing my coverage on those problem areas. Now, looks like I sprayed a little bit too heavy here, so I'm going to just go in and kind of dab that out. You can do that if you do it immediately, because you're spraying so light that spraying it actually, I mean, it should dry immediately. There shouldn't be any dry time in between. And so if you do see a problem that you're like, oh, I need to fix it immediately, whether it's, you can tap it out like that or use a blender. Oh no, he is acting crazy. Is it a girl or a boy? She is. Oh, her. She is acting crazy. So that is giving me, all my blemishes are covered. Those spots where I did the tanning solution and it grabs that pigment, those are covered. And so I have my coverage that I'm wanting. And there we go with that. All right, so I have my coverage, and now I'm going to take my go-to's, really that Nude and Naughty. I just love this one. I love the Nude and Naughty because it does, I mean, you have 36 different eyeshadows to choose from. What is this one? This is The World. I know I want to use something new, but then this one's kind of my go-to. All right, so now I'll go in. I'm going to use a blending brush, one like this. Let me get a little paper towel. And I am going in to do my crease. Now, I do have some of that bronzer on already, but I'm going to go in and do my crease with, do a medium, kind of just a medium chocolate brown right in that crease, going back and forth. Now, remember when doing traditional makeup, that first touch of where you put the brush is where most of the makeup's going to go. And so that's why I do it, especially with the darker colors. That's why I do that from the outside and blend it in. And so I'm just making sure to blend and not have any harsh lines, and I can keep going back and forth. I know a lot of people work on one eye and then work on the other. I kind of like to go back and forth so I can really see, make sure that they're even, make sure the colors are even. I find it easier. I find it easier because I just feel like working at the same time with the eyes, that you have a little bit more control, but some people like it the other way. Now I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush like this one, and I'm going to put some shimmer on the inside, kind of on the lid to the inside. So I put it on just one side of the eyeshadow brush, and I can tap that right in there. And lightening the lid a little bit, making me look what is they wide-eyed and bushy-tailed. And then I'll go back with that chocolate brown and blend. And you can blend it up where it fades lighter. and fades into that brow bone. And then using, I think I'll use a smaller blending brush, or if I have it, let's see if it's still here. I'll just have to use the same one. I'm going to do a darker color, a dark brown. I'll probably mix, yeah, I'm mixing the dark brown and the black in this outer crease. Hello, Amber, good to see you. And then again, starting outside corner, blending just to make a little V right in there. Back and forth. And then I'm going to take, I'm going to take the flat eyeshadow brush, but use the tip of that to do the eyeshadow at the bottom as my liner. So I'll just, because I am doing it a little bit thicker, mainly focusing on the dark brown, not necessarily the black, because it's very rare that I put black underneath my eyes. I'll use a dark, dark brown, but very rare is it black. And just lining the eyes. Smudging that a little bit more to get that going, okay? And I think I'm going to stop there. Maybe a little bit more of the chocolate brown, just to stand that out a little bit so it doesn't get lost in the black or the, the darker color. Right in there. All right. Now I'm going to take a fluffy brush, take my translucent powder, the compact, and since I already did my foundation, I'm just going to swipe, boop, 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 to make sure that I don't have any fallout, that nothing fell, it's all smooth underneath, and I won't have to have any smudges or anything underneath, which is great. And then now I'll go in with, let's do the Cut 1 palette. And you have all of those. And when I contour, I use all of them. I like a range of color. So I'll go in and I'm swiping all of them. And starting the contour. And even with this, I still go in. I'll probably go back and do more contour, but I still kind of move around to give me a second to kind of check it out, make sure I like it, make sure, it looks good, make sure, okay, do I need to do more? Do I need to do less? Do I need to blend it out? What's going on? Amber, how are you doing? All right. Now using my blush brush, I'm going to get Charming. But I actually think I'm going to do the Optics palette first and do a little bit of shimmer. And then I'm going to do the blush on top of that so it does blend. Right, high cheekbone area, down the nose. There we go. Right there. And then now going in with Charming to give me a little bit of pink, a little bit of flush to the cheeks. Right in there. All right. Let me put this cap back on. All right. So again, we have the CC concealer first, then I powdered to make sure that I could control the shine. I didn't want, because it's hot outside, I didn't want to be shimmery or shiny. I do like shimmer, so I didn't want to be shiny. And so I'm able to control that by doing the powder first, then did the airbrush foundation on top, and then did my eyes with the Nude and Naughty palette, and then the Cut One to contour, optics to highlight, and then the Charming blush. So it's all coming together. Now I'm going to get the glue and let's do some lashes. And I always, most of the time I'm going to do liner with the lash. And if you're new to lashes, you can definitely line first and then put the lash on. What that does, it actually helps you know where to go with the lash. So it gives you something to shoot for if you line your eyes first. So that's always helpful. And then also if there's a gap between like where the lash starts and your lash line, which sometimes that happens when you're new to doing lashes, that if you did the liner, it will help cover that. It'll help hide it. All right, so I have my lash. And now I'm going to drag it through the glue. And I do both lashes because we want the glue to get tacky. I want it to get a little dry, and where when I put it on, it has some staying power, but where I can still move it, where it's not, so on. Because if the glue's too wet, it'll slide. And so if it's tacky, it'll stay put, and then that way you have some time to work with it. And so that way doing it on both lashes gives me the opportunity to do that. So now I'm going to take my mirror, flip it over to the magnification side, and then I'm looking down into my mirror. Now what this is doing is it's stretching my eye in the way that I need it to put the lash on. Because if you've ever had lashes put on, they ask you to close your eye. It's the same thing, except you're able to just look down at it. And make sure you do not, I keep having, the lash keeps sticking to my tweezers. So I'll do this one more time. And I have to go up and over. And you can tell, like, it's not on, but I can do it this way to make sure that it's going to stay. And put that one in place. Just holding that down. Now coming back. Now it wants to seesaw. But that's what will help you. If it's tacky, it'll have some of that staying power. So I'm going to hold that down real quick. Make sure that one is staying. And then come in. See, so you do have quite a bit of time to work with it. So I think a lot of people think they have to rush, but you really do want the lash to start drying before you put it on. And then I just check to make sure that it is staying in place. And then now, going in for my other one. Up and over, get it on the edge. Wiping my tweezers off so it doesn't stick. Right there. And right there. So this one did it a lot easier because it did have a little more time to dry and get a little more tacky. Although I do want to make sure to get the edge, hold on, I'm going to get my elbow in the glue. The edge, usually if lashes lift, it's on the inside. So that's why I normally go in and put a little extra glue on the ends to make sure that they do stay. So making sure that those stay, making sure that this one's on. You can still move it a little bit. And there we go. So the big thing I think with lashes is take your time. Don't get overwhelmed. Number one, thinking that you have to hurry. I know we're dealing with glue, but you really do have quite a bit of time to play with, you know, have some wiggle room and play with it, where you don't have to rush as much as I think we have to. All right. Now I'm going in with Dusty Rose lip liner, and I'm going to line the lips. And right here. And even with lining the lips, I feel like I'll go in and I'll go in, then close my mouth, look in the mirror, and make sure everything's straight. Because when I talk, I do have a crooked side. And so if you open your mouth and line, sometimes that can get crooked. So close and make sure you have everything even Steven. And I fill them in because it has a little more stain power with the lips or what, you know, whatever you're going to put on. And I'm going to put on this, where did it go? The Naked Tulip. I really like this color. It is pink, but with the lip liner, it will dial it back a little bit and not be as pink. And so voila. So I have that. Now I am going to go in because I see a gap in between the lash and the corner of my eye. So what lining will do is help smooth that out and that smooths out that transition. And so, oh, the glue you use dries fast, then you might have to work faster than others. So it will help with that transition. So let me do, I know y'all can see the gap. Let me do one. Oh, and that was way too high, but that was okay. Get right in there, get in that corner. And smooth that transition. And see how it just really helps with that transition right there. Now you could go in and do mascara there and connect that, but let's say you didn't want to put mascara on the lashes. You don't have to, because you can do this, which will smooth that line out. Let me do this one now. Just dragging the Persuasion. You can do it with Temptation or Persuasion, and you could even do it with an eyeshadow if you wanted to as well. It doesn't have to be one of these. So you could do it, but these Persuasion eyeliners are so easy to use. And there you go on that. Now, the only other thing that I would do if I was like, thank you, Candy. The only other thing I would do is I would possibly add a little more, or I would add mascara. If I didn't want to add them to the top, I would add them to the bottom. And I'm going to do, again, one side so you can see the difference. I know a lot of people will add mascara to their lash before putting the lash on, and you can do that as well. I don't always put mascara on when I do lashes. It just depends on if you can see them or not. Sometimes it helps push them together if you do it. But adding a little bit to the bottom, I like, just because it does kind of bring everything home. You can see the difference with mascara and without. Boom. And we do this side. Right there. And there you go. So what do you think of the full look? So it really is, I mean, with Airbrush, you have so many options as far as the order to do things, the intensity of color, the coverage that you want. Honestly, you do have a lot. You have a lot to do. You have a lot of fun. So now I'm going to do final seal. Oop, that one's sprayed too hard. And when I do the final seal, I do concentrate here since we do wear a mask around. And so I want to make sure that it does have that same power. We are going to test it. We had somebody earlier that wears a mask for 10 hours straight. And so we're going to do maybe some, I don't know, I have to test it and see what we need to do. So, and there you go. All right. And even at this point, when I was saying that, you know, there's so many options and so much that we can do, even at this point, if there were tweaks that I needed to make with airbrushing or regular makeup, I can do that. You know, it really is so easy to do things with Luminous. If I needed to add more coverage, I could add more coverage right on top of this. So you're not restricted on, oh, well, I already did my foundation. You know, I can't do that now. Well, yeah, you can. You can. So there you go. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. Actually, you have Renee coming back up at 4. She's going to be with you at the 4 o'clock, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a great day.